Now, first of all, Peter Obi is obviously, I think everyone who bothers with Nigeria's politics knows that Peter Obi is a serial complainer. He will not accept the result of any election that is not in his favor or in favor of candidates that he supports. He's done that since the 2023 election. Peter Obi has been a consistent denier of that election, and now he has a new pet project to deny the Edo election. We don't reckon with Peter Obi because he wasn't a candidate in Edo, and he was not a voter. So whatever he thinks of that election is absolutely irrelevant. He can speak all he wants. That's up to him. About those who were contestants in the election. Now I think that Olumide Akpata and Asue Ighodalo, they have legitimate interests in that election. So if they are not satisfied with the outcome of that election, they must do what they must do, which is to take this matter to court and go there to prove the allegations that they are bandying around right now, because that's what they're doing. They're simply throwing a lot of things, unsubstantiated allegations. When an election is done, yes, psychologically people are wounded because you went into it to win. So when you don't win, understandably you can be sore. But I think that I have not listened to any of them articulate or furnish any sort of reasonable evidence of all of the high-sounding allegations that they make. And it's not enough to throw those things out there. When you get to court, it's not about the headlines. You must break down the headlines into credible, realistic evidence before the courts to support your argument that you won the election or that there was some foul play or some manipulation as they allege. So, we're not bothered by that. When they go to court, we will of course meet them in court and also present our side of the story. And that's the beauty of democracy.
APC Publicity Secretary Felix Moka, he's an APC man, so you don't even expect anything different from him. But I think he should go look himself in the mirror and he's going to see the person that is a denier there. Him, the APC. They are the ones a denier. They are denier to the fact that they think that Nigerians are not aware of what is happening. They think that Nigerians are blind. They think that the country is working. They think that the election that was conducted in Edo State was free, fair, and credible. Oh, I beg your pardon. They don't think. They know that the election that was conducted in Edo State was not free, fair, and credible. They know that Nigerians are not in denial. They know that Nigeria is not working. They know that they are a bunch of failures. They know that they have destroyed this country, but they are living in denial of it. They don't want to admit it because how will they admit their failure? It is very difficult for people to admit their failure. What they tend to do is to push it to the next person. So it is easier to blame everyone else but yourself. APC spent 8 years in office blaming Goodluck Ebele Jonathan and PDP while the country was wasting away. They didn't come to the realization that they were the one destroying the country. I mean, they took over from Goodluck Ebele Jonathan when Nigeria was the third fastest growing economy in the world. Nigeria economy was the biggest and the strongest economy in Africa. But while they were complaining, the economy was slipping away. They left Nigeria worse than they met it, but they kept blaming on Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. When President Bola Ahmed Tinubu took over from President Muhammadu Buhari, his same party man, he also started by complaining, saying he inherited a battered economy. He kept blaming on his predecessor. That is who APC is. They will never ever admit that they are the ones that are responsible for the woes we are experiencing in this country. Let us go to what Felix Moka is talking about Mr. Peter Obi. He's blaming Mr. Peter Obi of being a sore loser, of being a complainer. That Peter Obi is complaining about the Edo State election. Let's go back to that election. You and I all saw what happened in that election. Even the people that voted came out to say that they sold their vote. We all saw evidence of massive vote buying. The election was more about transactional. We saw how election result was manipulated. PDP is still alleging that the numbers on the IREF is different from what INEC announced. PDP said this. Peter Obi did not say it. Everyone saw the election. You can't say that an election that was conducted on a transactional basis is a fair and credible election. No, that is not a fair and a credible election. You don't buy the vote of the people. You don't induce people to vote for you. A credible, fair, and transparent election is one that is conducted without any external or internal inducement. It's one that the people go out to vote out of their own personal conviction and volition. A free, fair, credible election is not one that is manipulated. What we saw in Edo State was a manipulated election. It was an induced election. It is far from being called a credible, fair, transparent election. There are consequences to that. Of course, it's the consequences that we are suffering in Nigeria today. It's what we've been experiencing over time, and that is what has contributed hugely to the leadership failure we are experiencing in this country. It's not how you have an electoral process that produces someone that buys their way into public office and you expect that person to come and work for you. It doesn't work like that. You have someone who will not even defend his manifesto, who will not speak to the people directly, who will not campaign and tell the people what he or she will do when they get to office, and you expect that person to come and perform magic when the person wins. This is what we are experiencing at the national level. Bola Tinubu did not defend his manifesto, did not grant a single interview to Nigerians. All he did was to move around, talk gibberish, sing and dance, and he was elected as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. After 1 year in office, it shows that he did not even understand the complexity of the problem in Nigeria. It shows that he did not even have the solution to the problem in Nigeria. That is the reason why what he met on ground, he has made it worse. Bola Tinubu is a product of a fair electoral process in Nigeria. This is what Mr. Peter Obi is talking about. This is what he's complaining about. We are not going to fold our hands and keep experiencing this fair electoral process in our country because it is destroying this country. It is disintegrating Nigeria. How can you conduct an election and you have the people selling their vote for a morsel of meat, for a plate of food? The people in Edo State sold their vote for a plate of rice. They sold their vote for 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 naira. Isn't that a recipe for disaster? Isn't that a show of the reality of the nation we have become? It is showing that this country is heading to doom. We are already a fair country. Of course, you will not expect APC to admit that Nigeria is a fair country already. You won't expect APC to admit that they are the worst political party that have ever overseen the affairs of this country. You won't expect them to admit it because they are the helm of affair. Of course, Nigeria is a fair country if you have an institution like the EFCC being involved in crime, the EFCC being involved in corruption. Over 6 months, the EFCC has been trailing the former governor of Kogi State over 6 months, but they were so quick to arrest Bobrisky, and they told us that Bobrisky was involved in naira abuse. But little did we know that Bobrisky was involved in money laundering. They took money from Bobrisky and ensured that the money laundering part go away. We all believe what they told us in court, but it was deeper than that. That is a sign of a fair state. Bobrisky was sentenced to prison, but the prison warder ensured they took bribe and sent Bobrisky to a private apartment. This is another sign of a fair state. We all saw how it was reported that the judiciary, the judges in Nigeria, they were the most corrupt institution in this country. It is another evidence of a fair state. So what else are we talking about? All this is as a result of our fair electoral process. If we must go forward as a country, we must strengthen our electoral institution. We must ensure that everyone involved or caught in electoral malpractice is brought to book. The reason why we keep experiencing election malpractice over the years is because those that have practiced it, those that have been caught in it, they have not been brought to book. They have not been sent to serve the punishment of which it is stipulated in the Electoral Act. Punishing electoral offenders will serve as a deterrent to others, but we don't have that in our country. The law is weak, it is blind. We must also ensure that the judiciary is strengthened. The judiciary will be the only one to ensure that everyone that is caught in electoral malpractice is being punished duly. But no, the judiciary is not doing that. They are taking bribe and turning blind eyes to electoral offenders. We must also ensure that our electoral institution is strong to conduct a credible, free and fair election. If they fail to do that, they should be punished. Why is Yakubu Mahmoud still working freely after conducting a sham of an election in 2023? Why is he still working freely after violating INEC own act? Why is Yakubu Mahmood still working freely? The next INEC chairman that we come on board, we equally tore the same line with Yakubu Mahmood, because Yakubu Mahmood was not punished for the electoral offense he committed in 2023. Cause this is what we should ensure doing going forward. Mr. Peter Obi is not wrong. He is right in what he is saying. The only person that is complaining, the only person that is in denial is Felix Moka, is the APC. They are denying to the fact that Nigeria election is not free, credible and transparent. They are denying to the fact that Edo election was a sham of an election. It is not what should be practiced in any country. It is what should be condoned by every sensible Nigerians. But I understand we don't have sensible people in APC. If we have sensible people in APC, we will not be where we are today. We will not be experiencing this economic downturn we are experiencing in Nigeria today. We will not be experiencing a retrogressive Nigeria that we are experiencing today under the APC administration. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.